Hey chili heads, welcome back to Red or Green. Today we're gonna make one of my favorite dishes to make during the Lenten season. We're gonna make fish and chips, and we're gonna make them spicy because it is red or green after all. The chips are actually fries, and we're gonna cook those fries in the air fryer so that they get nice and crispy. I really like the way it crisps them up. And then we're gonna actually cook the fish, which is cod, in this delicious beer batter. We're gonna use a Mexican cerveza to make the batter. We're also gonna make this homemade tartar sauce, which takes this to a whole new level. I hope you make this recipe, it's delicious. And if you do, don't forget to tag me on Instagram. Also, if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. Hit post notifications, that way whenever we release a new video, you get notified right away. Also, if there are some dishes you'd like to see on the channel, leave it in the comments below and we'll do our best to get it on the channel in the future. All right, I think we have everything we need here, so let's get to it.
It's time to assemble our homemade tartar sauce. You're gonna love it. Let's start by adding 1 cup of mayo to a small bowl, along with 1/2 cup of dill relish, 3/4 teaspoon of onion salt. I'm using Trader Joe's here. I really like it because it has a little bit of garlic in there and some herbs. It adds a lot of flavor. 3/4 teaspoon of dried dill, along with the juice of 1/2 lemon. Use your judgment here. If you need a little more lemon, it needs a little more tang, add some more in. I used the juice of 1/2 a very juicy lemon here. Now chop about 1 tablespoon of capers into small pieces and add it to the sauce. And next you'll just use salt and pepper to taste. Mix it all up, put it in the refrigerator for at least a 1/2 hour to let all the flavors come together. Let's start by adding about 2 cups of vegetable oil to a pan. I'm using my cast iron pan for this because I really love the way it holds the heat for these fish and chips. Next, I'm also going to preheat my air fryer to 375. This is going to get it ready for our chips. Now we'll take 3 russet potatoes, and I'm going to leave the skin on for these, but I'm going to slice these into about 1-inch thick wedges for our chips. Next, I'm going to rinse these in some water. I want to get as much of the starch out of these potatoes as possible. This will help make the crispiest fries you've ever had. Now I'm going to drain them and rinse them and pat them very dry. Let them sit for just a minute before you start to add 3/4 teaspoon of onion powder, about 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and about 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Now we'll drizzle on some olive oil and make sure that the fries are completely coated before adding them to the air fryer. Next, we'll add about 1/2 of the chips to the air fryer. I don't want to overcrowd these because I want to make sure that they get crispy and they don't sort of sweat too much in the air fryer. We're going to cook these for about 20 minutes, and about midway, we're going to check them and make sure that we turn them over so that all sides are very crisp. Now on to our beer batter for the fish. Start by adding a cup of flour to a large bowl, 1 teaspoon of chili lime salt, 1 teaspoon of New Mexico red chili powder, 1 teaspoon salt, and about 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Now stir this all up until it's completely combined. Now add slowly 1 can of a Mexican lager. You could use any beer of your choice here, but I'm using a Marble Brewery Mexican lager, and this really adds such flavor to the batter. And just make sure that it's all combined and all of the flour is mixed in thoroughly. To prepare the fish, make sure that you pat the fish completely dry using paper towels. And then dip them into the batter. And one by one, we're going to add them to the hot oil. 3 or 4 at a time. Again, we don't want to crowd the pan so that they don't steam inside the oil. We want to make sure that they crisp up nicely. I cut the fish into smaller pieces just so that it's manageable when I put them into the pan to cook. We'll cook these for about 2 minutes on each side just so that they are golden and crisp. Once they're cooked, pull them out of the pan and we'll place them on some paper towels to drain. Now it's time to plate these up with our chips. On a plate with our homemade tartar sauce and some fresh lemon. These fish and chips are the perfect classic meal during Lent or anytime. Enjoy!